Do I have anything in the store? I do not. Something tomorrow is 10:30. Uh, what happened to my? There we are. All right. Oh, 1 second. I gotta load up my Whatnot tabletop. There it is. It's our first week back from the March Madness, sketch cover madness, which continued well into May, all of March, all of April, and into May. We've established champion for the black and white sketch covers and a champion for the color sketch covers and an all-around champion for 2026. That was fun. But it took us about 10 weeks. Is that a long time? I don't know. You guys decide. Take the poll. Tell me if it was fun. Tell me if it could be a little shorter. Um, my instinct was that maybe I could cut a round out somewhere somehow. But I appreciate your guys' feedback as well. Um, March Madness usually lasts through March, right? It doesn't last through May. So I don't know. Offer your opinions in the poll. Is your name on the Wall of Fame? These are all people who contributed to the stream. Main reason why I started here on Whatnot a little over 3 years ago is because I wanted to promote my comic books, the new Zodiacs in particular. But it has since grown beyond just selling comics, and now we do live drawing. We do all kinds of cool stuff. So I want to recognize everybody who helped support me here on Whatnot. And we created the Wall of Fame, and it was VIP himself, Ainge21, whose first appearance was episode 70, who suggested we should get a discount. Ainge is all about getting the best deal, as hopefully we all are. So I thought that is a great deal. So one way of honoring everyone who is part of the live stream is to create a wall of fame that you guys can read at your leisure, screen grab, let your friends know that you're on the wall of fame, share with your buddies. And thanks to Age 21, you also get a discount, an additional 20% off anything in the store except for fresh commissions. So we've got to make a little cash. My commissions are uh, pretty low priced as far as the work that goes into my pieces. So an additional 20% off. I feel the prices that we already offer are fair enough. So if you're on this list, um, give yourself some applause. And if you feel like grabbing something in the store or in the auction for 20% off, let me know. I could work that out for you. If you want to do some shopping, it'd be cool if we had like a shopping cart kind of thing, but I can create a virtual shopping cart for you here. You guys let me know what you're interested in, and I'll create a special item for you with the 20% discount. So let me know. Cool. Headed to Fan Expo Philly this weekend. Should I read everybody on the list? Why not? And your first appearances? I won't do that, but I'll read everybody's name. Thank you to Slippery Devil, Frozen in Carbonite Comics. Frozen in Carbonite has a retailer exclusive you can find in the bin. New Zodiac's Aquarius. I call it Cover C. It was the third cover version, second variant. So thanks to Frozen and Carbonite, just not just for being part of the stream here, but for being part of New Zodiac's history and helping spread the new Z. Thanks also to J.S. Hobby Shop, Shinogana, Banduk, Lupin Blue, WP Joe, Bro Man, B Roman RN. Episode 3, B Roman. Nice job, buddy. From the beginning, we still see B Roman in the stream. There he is, right there. As a matter of fact, I saw you in the chat. JAFK Frank A McConnell, Pronto Man Keymaster 829 CP Auger Diesel 1818 E Cox 71 Legal Burning. Oh, I'm exhausted. Wiley 542, Nick Guido DH, Exquisite Standards, Easy Comics 86, Sean Streams, Lundberg Graphics. I saw Jesse at Wicked Comic Con last Saturday. What's up, Jesse? User DFB09D5CC2BE9 Phantom Spider CR63 Falcor 000. We still see Falcor in the stream. Mrs. Gray Malkin, Santana Collectibles DAAXN Bud Roberts BJ PJ Smooth Board Gamer Edwin 333 Gray Malkin Gaming again. Oh, it's Mrs. Gray Malkin and Gray Malkin Gaming. Two different Gray Malkins. I think they're related, though. JJBP 91, Seven Heads, 10 Crowns, The Scarlet Spidey, Inderhagen, Cardinal Badger, Mule Kalk, Ron Montrose, Ron Rydberg, 213, Contreras, 23, Necro Namaltron, Tricky, Trapster, Earthquake, Darth Adder, Jolton, Johnny Lucas, my buddy, TB Valania, JJBP91. We should cross that one out. He's already listed up here. DL Garlic, F. Elvis 1, Iron Ink Comics, Jam 1999, Ninja for Hire, Rob Street 3, Casey Sand, Drudge 00, Frat Wins, Ainge 21, TNT Hobby Hunter, Melinda Comics, Madman Gum, VO, TCC, Renzo 516, Wasby Not, B Northern, Dennis Dietrich, VA, Cujo Collects, OG Comics, Acid Burn. We will see both of these guys in the stream very frequently. Stay Puffed. Rolo 80 was regular. We haven't seen Rolo in a while. Punk, Rockin' Ramon, excuse me. Bagpipes Andy, Cetal, Blanate, WATW, Ramona, VIP Ramona from the Netherlands, Cisco 2, On Badger, Eric Arabia, Baba Yaga 616, Old Man Puff, Dark Vash. I just saw Dark Vash at Little Giant. And his two sons getting very big, his kids. Chim Rich Holds, Iceman 212, Mad Dog Mark, Mr. Phantom 13, Moonstar 6598, Jeezy Weezy, Feely Kyle, Bomber Diecast 666, Miss Mayhem 70. Miss Mayhem still a regular after over 100 episodes. Thank you, Miss Mayhem, Rob Squatch, Ghost Rider 0820, Oh Bro Comics, Smoke Pot and S Rock, S Rockness, Daytona I Rock, a VIP, most wins on Mental Metal, DT Vincent, 1975, Comic Turtle on 16, Blodgett 98, Stone McGregor, James the Creative Jr., Cricket Collectibles, Sullivan Artist, Garage Gremlin, Wheaties Joint. You should hang out with where my boy Smoke. You should hang out with Smoke Pot 10 and Wheaties Joint. I think they're related. Joe Mar 90703, Julius 1320, MJBIII 34143, Richard Purr 38334, Mr. Pickles 53, because there's got to be more than one Mr. Pickles here and whatnot. So this is 53, the best one. T. Harris 1126. S Mark 353, who we see very often in the stream. Spider Venom 316, B Couch Vintage Vault. Smith D. S Hofstra. Falcon Freak 5D FB PV SFH Ace, winner of the color sketch cover contest. Art of Kyle Willis, regular. Just saw Kyle at Little Giant in person. Artside Comics, Detroit Red Wing 1, Joseph VER 94819, LB Munoz 3, Gunroom Comics, my buddies from, I met them at New York Comic Con a couple of years ago. Radical Cat, Bat, Grandpa, Gina Mund, Clever Cat Comics, Lush, Osh, Johnny Pez, 00, we see him a lot. Chris Mullen, M. Dispensa, LAK, 1978. Palooks 13, a regular in the stream, Hobby, Hub Store. Felgon 10, Path Life, Dr. Gooine 187. Greener Goodies, Donuts, a regular. Lionheart's Comic Book Den, Joe Mar Comics, Beacon 79. D. DeRosa 55. Roadrunner Hand 710. Coleman Jord. And the fresh, the youngster, the noob, RM Ditto. Thank you to everybody. Appreciate it so much. Really appreciate your support here on Whatnot. You make it all worthwhile. That's why I keep coming back. So thank you. Awesome. I read everybody's name. I can't believe it. At some point, I'm not going to make it through all of these names. Let's see what's going on in the stream. What's up, Palooks? Palooks in the house. You're on the Wall of Fame. Congratulations. You're the best, man. Scarlet Spidey in the house. I'm planning on seeing you at Fan Expo Chicago. That will be fun. Scarlet Spider, I saw you. Is this you, Scarlet Spidey? Yes. Nice to see you. I made the wall. You made the wall. You are most muscular. You are flaming muscles. You made the Wall of Fame. I got to do a commission for customer at Philly. So we'll probably work on that today. Guess who? Where are my blue pencils at? There it is. Just sharpening my blue pencil. Dusty. Stitch. I'm gonna whittle this thing down to nothing. Hmm. The wood is really hard around it, but the lead is soft, so it's tough to get that point. Wall of Famers get 20% off anything in the store or the auctions today. Check out the bin. If there's anything you don't have yet that you feel like buying and saving some cash, let me know. We could start a little virtual shopping cart for you. If you have multiple items you're interested in, I'll add the whole thing together, chop off 20%, and create a specific item just for you. Just let me know. Whatever works. Booty doo, booty boo, booty boo, booty boo. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I can't believe it's Wednesday already. First of all, we went to Wicked Comic Con, which is in downtown Boston. Fun show, very cool. It was in a little uh, ballroom. It had a really old school Comic Con vibe that reminded me of the conventions I used to go to when I was a kid. They were usually in these hotel ballroom gathering kind of spaces, and so that was cool to see. And they even had these little side rooms with one of the rooms had robots, different famous robots like a remote control R2D2 and Mecha Godzilla, which was awesome. It reminded me of the old shows that I used to go to when I was a kid. It was a lot of fun. I'm still trying to decide what book I want to get signed by you at Fan Expo, but I guess I still have a bit to decide. LOL. You got time. You got time. I know most of you guys don't have this issue, but I remember two occasions where I had two creators sign my comics. One was, I think, Marv Wolfman, who wrote Fantastic Four, and the other was Herb Trimpe, who signed a couple issues of my Hulk, Incredible Hulk collection. And they were not good experiences. I don't like the idea of people writing on my comics, and so I didn't really care for it. So I never did it again. But most people don't have that problem. They prefer people writing on their comics. Wall of Fame episode. I usually try to do them on the 50s, every like episode 150, 200, 250, but we were in the middle of sketch cover madness when we hit the 250 mark. So I'm about 21 episodes late, but tune in for episode 300. We'll do it again. If you see multiple items that you would like to purchase for 20% off, let me know. We'll create a shopping cart for you, and I'll make a specific item just for you. Not sleeping a lot lately. In the meantime, also take the poll today because we're fresh off of the Sketch Cover Madness contest, which took a total of probably about 10 to 12 weeks. 20 to 24 episodes. So let me know what you think. If it was a little long for you, if a little if you want more, if you want even more, we can create more rounds of contests. Like I have 8 rounds of color and 8 rounds of um, black and white sketches. We can combine the two. Uh, Generally, although this year was an exception, generally I find there's a color as a bias between the color pieces and the black and white pieces. That's why I separated them. This year's overall winner, though, was a black and white piece, which is kind of interesting and new and different. Oh, gotta go to sleep early tonight. Yes, I'm headed to Fan Expo Philadelphia this weekend. Got to leave early on Friday, like somewhere around 4 or 5 in the morning, so I can get in at an early enough hour that I could load up and then maybe check into my hotel. I don't think I'll have time to check into the hotel before the show starts, but at least suss out where everything is. Do 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 do. Beauty, beauty, beauty. See if your name's on the wall of fame. Get your name on the wall of fame. had to step away for a quick phone call at work. What I missed? How did I make the Hall of Fame? LOL. How did you make it? You made it by supporting the stream. You purchased something here above $10 or above. And that's what makes you a supporter of the stream and someone who funds my independent projects. And that's how you make the Wall of Fame. It's that simple. So thank you. Sweet. Happy to support. I'm glad to hear that. How many other streams have you been on and whatnot where they call you out and say thank you? Can you guys think of any? Buyer appreciation giveaways, I guess they kind of count, right? To be honest, not too many other streams. I've been to Lino's streams a couple of times and on Rodney's. Yeah, Lino's cool. Rodney's cool. Do either of those guys have a Wall of Fame? I don't know. I'll have to talk to them if they don't. I'm like, yo, man, show some love for your supporters, man. What's the matter with you? And by the way, send some props to Ainge21 for coming up with this idea, giving a Wall of Famers a discount, a 1-day discount. You see me tomorrow, Thursday at noon. I think I got a lot of prep to do for Philly, but I'm planning to be on tomorrow. But tomorrow, Thursday, you won't see a Wall of Fame. We'll be back to normal with my regular desktops. Ainge21 was the single biggest winner on Mental Metal with the most dollar amount. Most dollars in a single game. And Daytona has the most wins. And his total wins are probably more than Ainge's single win. We'll play some Mental Metal in the near future, too. For all you noobs who haven't played, this is a fun game. You guys will have a good time and you can win prizes. I think Ainge won a couple $100 worth of prizes. Is Ainge around today? I haven't seen him in the stream yet. I don't think they have Wall of Fame, but they are pretty chill. They are pretty chill. I like your stream, though. Always cool seeing you draw and kill it on paper. Flames. 2 flames. I got 2 flames. 2 flames from Palooks. Let's do this. Thank you, Palooks. Kill it on paper. This is the trick. Spidey trick is to make sure the eyes are symmetrical. When you've got the two, when you've got your boy looking straight forward, it gets harder to do this. So I'm not going to even try to. I'm not even going to try to duplicate that. I'm going to go get my tracing paper. What happened to tracing paper? Look, I've already done this on this page. This will be my Spider-Man eye transfer page. You'll find some of your favorite Spider-Man drawings and put them up in the mirror and see if you can discover if the eyes are even or not. Some of Spidey's greatest artists do not draw the eyes symmetrically. That's pretty close. Oops. I totally dig the underarm webbing. You want me to draw Spidey my way? I will add the webbing every time. Every time. There are certain angles where it gets a little confusing and I just take them out. But whenever I can, when we've got this arm open, elbow away from torso, we can definitely add the underarm webbing for sure. I'm gonna head back in for a meeting. What's this meeting stuff? But I'll be back in my lunch. Can't wait to see how this is coming along later. Very cool. Who's this commission for? I forgot the gentleman's name, but it's for his son, and he's going to pick it up at Fan Expo Philly. He's going to turn it into a jam piece. So he asked me to do a standard sketch cover figure and leave a lot of space around it. So it's roughly sketchbook sized. Yeah, it's a sketchbook size figure. But he doesn't get the Wall of Fame discount, 20% off. If your name is on here, you get 20% off today. Today only. We'll do it again around episode 300. This is episode 271. We're making up for 250, which was right in the middle of sketch cover madness, so we couldn't do two things at once. Joe Marr is on the Wall of Fame. Where are you? I just saw you. If you're not, you should be. Here you are, Joe Marr Comics, right there. Tune into the YouTube channel to see me read and recognize every single name on the Wall of Fame. I had to catch my breath a few times. Just my way of saying thank you for supporting the stream. Appreciate it very much. Acid Burn, an early supporter. Acid Burn joined us episode 97. Crazy, time flies. We're up to 271. Wall of Famers get 20% off today. Everything except live fresh commissions. Acid said, I remember the Deadpool Wolvie sketch. Brought me in. Deadpool Wolvie. Refresh my memory. Was that the one where they're facing off, like the classic Venom Wolverine cover? That is now a print. And by the way, I saw quite a few of those prints at WickedCon last Saturday. They liked the Venom Wolverine. Headshot. Yep. Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool idea. Who else could we do as an homage? I suppose we could do Venom facing off with Spidey, but we could do Sabretooth facing off against Wolverine. That would be a good one. It's our first stream after the sketch cover madness. So I'm taking a poll because it took all of March Madness, March, plus all of April, plus 3 weeks roughly in May to finish the sketch cover madness. And my brain is like, that might be a little too long, but I don't know. There's no true rules. Anybody who's new to the stream, they don't have to remember the sketches they saw. They could just play along, take the poll right there on the spot. They don't need to have any prior knowledge of the previous rounds or anything like that. So, but I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Should we do another 10 plus week sketch cover madness, or should I cut it down a little bit? Should I only do one version, like say just a color version? And that would be 8 rounds plus semis plus, that would be 10 weeks. So that would be, well, that would be 5 weeks if I did 2 a week. That would be relatively short. Maybe I'll do that next year where we just do colored sketches. Episodes divided by 2 equals 5 weeks. That's something more like a March Madness would be, right? Acid says, I think it's awesome no matter how long it takes. Cool. Thank you, Acid. It's always a portfolio, it's an example. It's like a passive portfolio, you get to vote, especially when there's 4 of them. You can see 4 examples of stuff that I've done right here on the stream. So it's kind of like an instant portfolio review. So if you're in the market for a sketch cover drawing, you could see four of them right there on the spot. And then if you tune in the next day or the week after, you see four more, and they're all different. So I don't know. I kind of like that idea. But me, myself, I just felt like it was getting a little on the long side. So I'm not sure exactly. Um, even if it did take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, let's say 11 weeks, 22 episodes, there's still 52 weeks in the year. There's still 30 weeks left where you don't have sketch cover madness. I'm not sure. Something to think about, but like I said, I welcome your guys' thoughts. Always helpful. It gets real quiet when I draw the webs, I know. Whoops. Mm. Beep, 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 beep. Excuse me. Before we start laying in the heavier shadows, we erase pencils. Look at that smudging already happening. Lionheart's on the VIP list. Daytona's on the VIP list. The Wall of Fame is my way of saying thank you for supporting the stream and my creator-owned endeavors. Much appreciated. All righty. Don't forget to take the poll. Leave your comments regarding the sketch cover madness contest. There was a lot going on there. It took over 22 episodes or so. So let me know if that's something you'd like to see again. And if you'd like to see more of it, or if you'd like to see less of it. My personal experience is it seemed to go on for a while. And so my instinct is to maybe cut it down to just the color pieces, maybe. Shorten it from 22 to possibly 10 episodes. But I welcome your guys' thoughts. If you like the whole process, if you liked watching the whole contest, there's 64 pieces represented this year rather. 64 sketches going up against each other. So that's a lot. 32 sketches in the black and white contest, 32 sketches in the color contest. We did 4 rounds of 8. Then the winners went to the semifinals. We did 2 rounds of semifinals. And then we did a round of finals. It's fun for me to see you guys' reaction. It's also fun to see the difference between Whatnot and Facebook polls. Same pieces, different results. That was kind of fun to see. Shit. Boo, boo, doo, boo. Last Saturday at Wicked, I met Custom Cut Comics, who's here on Whatnot. He does these die cut commissions, which are pretty cool. I met him in person. Nice guy. Very cool. It's always good when you remind me who you are on Whatnot, what your Whatnot handle is. That's so cool. So he comes up to me and he's like, I follow your stream on Whatnot. And I'm like, what's your handle? He's Custom Cut Comics. And then it all kind of falls into place. I remember watching his stream and seeing what he does with his commissions, how he cuts away areas, revealing the cover underneath. And that's kind of cool. I'd say it's he's got a whole little niche of his own, which is kind of fun. You know, I don't usually put the underside of his foot in shadow, but I think we need to. I think we need to today. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but my upstairs neighbor has a dog who's barking for some reason. He's usually very quiet. I wonder what's going on with him today, or her. I don't know much about the dog. Alive, alive, alive. Oh, let's listen to some. I got some comic podcasts lined up. Let me see if I can find those that we could all listen to. Oh, what's this? Dan Quintana has arrived.
Thank you so much for grabbing an Invincible from the buy it now. It means a lot.
I don't see what that. I'm not sure that's interesting. Any more than what I'm doing. Let's see. Okay, move on. How about this? Selling comics on eBay, and I imagine also on Whatnot. Let's see.
You trying to pay a scammer's rent too? Not a pro move. What's the move then? Pay with Visa. That's the move. That tracks. That's a pro move. Visa, the safer way to pay.
Searching for the best flower delivery in the North Shore? We've got you covered. Stunning floral arrangements from Curran's Flowers always say it best. Fresh flowers hand-delivered with a smile. Order at curransflowers.com.
Boo commercials. Boo.
Awesome. Cold coffee. Oh, it's the best. Great. Cold coffee.
Buying an entire comic book store, eBay fees and problems.
Last left off the podcast where you had just purchased an entire comic book store in New York.
That's right.
A whole store.
A whole store. Everything. Down to the very last die.
Last Star Wars figure, last T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Last Magic card. Thousands and thousands of Magic cards.
Hundreds of thousands, yeah.
And over 100 long boxes.
Yes.
Probably in the
At
300s.
least. I don't even know. Like, looking back, I can't even tell you exactly what we got. All I know is that I remember pulling, if you know anything about Magic the Gathering, I had a 5,000 card box, and every single one was a rare card in this 5,000 count box of Magic the Gathering. And I realized that I'm standing there with this box, and I have 3 stacks of 5,000 cards that were taller than me. And so as I was thinking about it, I was thinking, if I wanted to, I can consider that I purchased this box, and I got the rest of the store for free. And I got that box at a deal, like a screaming deal.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I always
Right place, right time.
Right friend.
Right friend. Yeah. Be good to your comic shop owners, because sometimes
Seriously,
they just decide they don't want their stuff.
just
anymore.
just kind to everyone.
So you took this mammoth store, this massive collection, brought it to California,
San Jose, California.
and then decided, hey, I'm assuming you were going to start a store.
Right. We wanted to start a comic book store. Obviously, we're very passionate about it, and my wife came up with the Geek Street name after thinking about it for a long time. We decided on Geek Street. I was going to open a store. We knew we were gonna move, so I didn't want to deal with anything until we got to Washington. And at which point, like we mentioned on the last podcast, we found, which was probably the most influential thing that we found in that purchase, was, a book called "So You Want to Be a Comic Book Retailer." And like I said before, the very first thing that it says, don't, for many reasons, location and the percentages of stores that close within the year is just horrific. If you look at those numbers, it's really horrific. And so that kind of took me back. I still wanted to do it, but eventually we came to Washington, and at that point, in the meantime, I decided to start selling stuff on eBay. eBay was pretty young at the time. So
before you
Oh,
continue,
so this is a while
you
ago.
decided not to open up a retail store.
well, at that point when I was in California, I wasn't sure, but I decided because we knew we were going to move to Washington that I wasn't going to do it in California. Taxes are ridiculous over there. So, anyways, I waited. That choice didn't come into play until we actually were in Washington.
And you decided no.
But we decided not to.
Okay, so at this point of the story, this is where we last left off. If you haven't watched the other podcast we did,
Check it out.
you should check it out. It's on their YouTube page. And from here, you decided, okay, if we're not going to do a retail store, we have to do something else.
Right.
And this is where we're going to pick up the story.
Exactly.
I'm your host, Comic Tom. We have Rico from the GTFO podcast. And yeah, let's talk art.
Let's do it.
All right, so you're back in Washington now.
Right.
And you can open a store, you decide not to. So what do? You have an entire storefront sitting at the time, this was the guest house barn.
Right.
We're moving stuff back and forth. We have thousands and thousands of dollars worth of inventory. Who knows even what that number would be now, because this is back in 2000.
When we moved in 2000, we moved April 2001. So this is 18 years.
Okay.
Just about this time. And so we decided.
Oh, this is an 8-year-old podcast.
It just wasn't
Skip.
feasible to start a store. And like I said, we got into this eBay.
Skippity doo.
And I had already been doing it in California. And I'm like, you know what? We could just do this. And we could.
Here's
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive and you'll get
top
around
10 comics heating up this week. Smart spec or overhyped, you decide.
The most trending comic books this week. Spec Plays happening.
Did anybody buy Green Arrow, Absolute Green Arrow?
wide range for all types of collectors.
Dude, number 10 on the list, surprising everybody, a Spider-Man Noir premiere exclusive, $150 high average sales distributed at the Spider Noir launch party that happened May 13th because the show comes out on Amazon May 27th. We got Nick Cage returning, but this comic is original.
Only 500 copies exist. There are black and white and color, just like the show, because there's going to be a color version and a black and white version. But this is super limited edition, and it is a prequel to the upcoming series that will get released next week. And that's why people are so excited, because this is not a reprint of Spider-Man Noir #1.
How is James Tynion IV so damn good? We have number 9 on the list, Odin #1. This was a 1 per store foil variant. Cover A of the book came out this week. This one's going to be approximately 2,000 to 3,000 units printed.
Sure.
And it is a story that is partially Green Room vibes meets Midsommar, 2 of some of my favorite horror movies of all time.
I'm already confused. So all the way back in March, they had an ash can that was released by Image to all of the comic shops. That was If Destruction Be Our Lot, back with Odin. That one's going on eBay for, I don't know, $8 to $10 for
like
a
a
single
flip book?
issue. Yes, it's a flip book, both sides of it. You can get it for cheaper if you want to buy a big chunk of them. In the beginning of May, there was the Comics Pro Retailers Summit, and there was the Exquisite Corpses, Rascal Randy, Ash Can. The other side happened to be Odin as well. That one's selling for a lot of money because the print runs on those really low. Not a ton of people went to the Comics Pro Retailer Summit. And then at the end of May, just this last week, we had the foil one and issue #1. So lots of stuff coming out this May and a ton of anticipation for this new title, Odin.
It's scary. It's disturbing.
Mhm.
The art is elegant. It's, dare I say, exquisite? Yes, a little bit of a pun. It's James Tynion, dude. It's so culty and disgusting and violent. Did I say violent already? I don't even remember. There's a 1 in 10, a 1. I'm not even going to say it all. Where can they get the information?
You should go over and get the Key Collector app, available on the iPhone store or on the Google Play Store, and get the best comic app available known to man or woman. Use code TOM101 for the best app in existence. It'll help you up your game.
Yo, the 1 in 100 Jay Lee looks so dope. Check out all the incentives, support this show, but also you can see retailer exclusives, suggested pricing. You support what we do. And number 8 on the list, we have Captain EO #1 from 1987. People don't know about the big Michael Jackson key. We're going to get there today.
This is one of those books that I think low-key I always wanted, when Captain EO first came out at Disneyland in 1987.
Did you
I
experience
was
it?
8 years old and I was there. Oh,
With the
man,
glasses and everything?
It was cool.
It's like, wasn't it like a 3D thing?
And yeah, and it ran forever. Like, it was quite a long time that you went in. And I mean, you know, Star Tours was
You had
cool,
it
but
on your
actually
face?
going and watching it, you had to have the polarized lenses. And to replicate that experience, we had a Captain EO 3D comic that was not a very good replication of the experience.
Check this out. High sales, $40. All right, high average. This is like the Michael Jackson key, right?
Right.
$275 for a CGC 9.4. There was a Michael Jackson biopic that released, so
Mhm.
a lot of Michael Jackson love. I love a lot of the music. I love the dancing. People love this movie that came out in 1987. And I know there are 2 versions of this book, and one of them is a freaking ghost. Do you know about the 2D variant, Rob?
This is the crazy thing, and one of those books that I have been looking for forever. I have
You've
never
been looking for this
Never-
book?
I have, actually. I've never seen one. So, first off, reporting on a 9.4, 9.8s are tough because this came with a pair of 3D glasses in the comic book. But if you find the 2D version, so instead of it being red and blue stereoscopic printed, it is all black inside. And since there's not a pair of 3D glasses, they're generally supposed to be in better condition. This was made for people who were colorblind so they wouldn't be discriminated against to buy a comic book. No idea on print run, no idea who even owns one. I've never seen one go for sale, but it exists and multiple places have reported on it. So if you happen to have a Captain EO where all of the interior printing is black, you found a great comic book.
Yo, there's like sub 40 copies on the census.
For the actual 3D one, yes.
So we're already dealing with a scarce book. And if you go back even further, Amazing Heroes 117, which advertises for this comic, has a glorious Michael Jackson cover. That right there is the true first. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song in the comment section below? Number 7 on the list is Avengers 57, first appearance of The Vision. Love this book. Silver Age.
The Vision.
High average sales.
One of my
This copy
faves.
sold at 200% because, dude, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Vision Quest is announced a date in October. It's coming out, is what I'm saying.
October 14th is the official release date for Vision Quest, and there was so much anticipation after the WandaVision show, and then everything was slow, and then we had the Doctor Strange movie, which was fine, and things tied into everything, but people lost faith in the stuff that was released from Marvel, and I just think there was too much of a gap, and they kind of forgot about it.
Except Wonder Man was so damn excellent that I've been reeled back in. I'm so hyped. We're getting James Spader back.
Yup.
We're getting Ultron, dude.
James Spader, Paul Bettany, this is something that I've been looking forward to for such a very, very long time. This is one of my favorite Silver Age keys, and I've always thought it's super undervalued.
Great investment, dude.
Oh, I think it's a good investment. It really is. Back in 2019, I had the opportunity to go to the Mopop Museum in downtown Seattle, and they had all of the original art on tour. I took multiple photos, and if we've got this in the video, you can see there's an actual depth to it.
There's like multiple layers.
Because they had like cut out comes the Vision and like around the Avengers. It's really cool to be able to see the original art of this, and it's such a stark red cover, but the depth just pops off the page. You don't see comics like this anymore.
Number 6 on the list. Sold out so quick and spiked. We have Nectar number 1. This came out this year. All right, we're seeing $12 high average sales. I'm seeing some $15, $20 sales as well. $56 on auction for a CGC 9.8, but people be pre-purchasing, pre-ordering this for closer to $100. 103% increase in copies sold after Nectar issue 3 came out. I read issue 1, and if you like the narrative, you like creepy stories, you know, it's about a plague, but spread by butterflies, you know, coming out of the corpses and stuff. You know, I like horrors. This is actually something I look forward to finish. Buy it if you love it, but don't go crazy.
I have always loved both comics horror, and they do a really good job focusing on the needs of the reader. I think they anticipated that there were going to be a ton of people that wanted to read this and that it would sell out. So there are so many copies that were released as the second print. If you're a reader and you just want to get a second print copy, go get one.
Didn't they
for
like sell
cover
those?
price.
Like
It was
packs?
a multi-pack that you could get as a shop, 25 copies,
The second
to be able to have a bunch of them for the second print. So there are a ton of reader copies out there, but at $12 for a raw copy of number 1 in a first print, if you want to do some type of long-term spec play, if you really want to have a nice copy, spend the extra couple bucks, you'll probably thank us in the future.
We got Mark Waid announcements this week. Number 5 on the list, Batman and Robin Year 1. This is like a $4 high average sale and a 208% increase in copies sold. After we have Chris Samney and Mark Waid announcing an August release, bringing them back to Batman and Robin. And don't you think that this right here is a sign that people are having such a good time reading World's Finest over the last couple of years, that this is just setting up their next book?
It's a
So
fun
much
book,
success
World's
out the gate,
Finest.
'cause people know what they're going to expect.
I've loved Mark Waid's DC work. His Flash run is fantastic. A bunch of the stuff he's done with Legion has been great. World's Finest has been just next level. And really, it's great to see the Batman and Superman team up done so well by such a great team up of Chris Samney and Mark Waid.
I can be your comic dealer and get you comic books. FOC every week is being updated.
Dan Morrow was the artist on most of the World's Finest that I read. I thought it was very good. Mark Waid is a great writer. I especially like him for DC. I don't know why. I think he feels, it feels like he knows the characters better at DC.
This is the first full appearance of the 7. They kind of get this like cameo appearance in issue number 3, but they are on the cover of issue number 3. $25 high average sales, a CGC 9.8 meant for $100. You can get issue number 1 right now for $400.
Somebody was telling me about the boys at Wicked Con, and it sounded really good, but
I'll go through them. Issue 1,
Sonia and I abandoned it around season 3. It was just getting too stupid. A lot of poop jokes and ass things going in people's asses. Just don't, not my style of humor, or just felt very juvenile. But I heard good things about it.
Issue 3, yeah, you got
Subsequently.
cameo of the 7, but issue 4 shares that key significance. Issue number 7 is the first appearance of the Paybacks. It's also the first appearance of Stormfront. We got the prequel series in the works. We saw the trailer today, and I'm so sad that season 5 ended, but I loved how it ended. I'm very happy with the ending. But knowing we got a prequel, it's keeping me from being too sad.
Ira Subaru Danvers is New England's 2025 President Club winner retailer because honest pricing is the.
You and
I guess YouTube knows where I live.
Before we even started the channel.
I love this comic book. Dude, I wouldn't buy it right now.
Absolutely not. Number 3 on the list, Chew, number 1. One of my favorite comics, one of Tom's favorite comics.
Rob freaking Gilroy, dude.
I think it's too hot at this price. I actually took the time to go all the way back to 2013 and look at every single graded sale. There were a few at $500 and up. There were a few at $200 and below. Most of them were right in the $250 to $350 range. And we're talking over the last 11, 12 years of sales, over 250 copies. So right now, $150 raw for a first print, $550 in the last week. On the announcement, Rob Gilroy came out and said, yes, it's finally going forward. We are finally going to have a live action adaptation. And we've been talking about the fact that there could be a live adaptation for over a decade. Seriously, before.
Kind of, because there was also an animation spec. There was also spin-off times, and it's been coming and going. This is a great example of how long it could take for like option news to pay off. I'm talking like Why the Last Man kind of patience.
My buddy Mike Cavallero, his graphic novel series got optioned. I have to be honest, I think the time period between when he got picked up and when DreamWorks went into production is relatively small compared to some of these other storylines. So good for Mike.
Something you have attached to a cadaver. I don't know, but it was a great read. It was fun. It never feels overly gory. You know, Warrior Chicken Pollo, nice offshoot.
Yeah.
There's some cool characters introduced here. If you like Rob Gilroy, you should also check out Farmhand, another one of the books that he did that I really liked, where a farmer plants body parts and grows zombies. Like, really cool stuff. But this book, it seemed a little expensive. If you can find a good deal.
Issue 61, dude. That's like,
Oh, yes.
Chew fan?
Walking Dead 61.
Daytona said, "How was Fan Expo?" Fan Expo Philly is this weekend coming up.
61 in that book is selling for too much, but I think that Chew having a second print and a third print and a fourth print and a Larry's print.
Daytona got cover A, 125 and a blank. Have you read it?
For 9.8 if you're patient.
Sick art, bro. Thank you, Alpha. Appreciate it.
That's right. It was included in the board.
Let us know if you've read Absolute Green Arrow Daytona.
And that is a tough book to find.
Number 2 on the list, Russ, is Absolute Evil number 1, $12 high average sales. We get Ra's al Ghul, Veronica Cale, Eleanor Thawne, Hector Hammond, Joker, Lex Luthor. All right, an increase of copies sold to 436% because in this issue, spoiler, but this came out a while ago, Oliver Queen gets mud ducked. That's Green Arrow, dude. He's done, right? Absolute Green Arrow is gone. No, because, like, yes, Oliver Queen is Green Arrow. Green Larry.
Green Arrow. Green Larry's my favorite.
There's another Green Arrow that would be more considered absolute than even Oliver Queen. Because we don't know much about Oliver Queen besides what we're finding out in number 1 on the damn list, Porn Sack Pieces Show. Hot damn. He had a very tall order and he exceeded expectations, which were already extremely high because he is one of the best writers of our generation.
42 different variants on this book that was brand new this week. We're reporting a $5 average high sale for regular normal cover A on this one, but variants are all over the place. The demand is there because people want to know Oliver's gone. Who is the new Absolute Green Arrow and why are they going around killing billionaires?
Dude, 1.4 million Green Arrow number 1 pre-order.
That's insane.
Okay.
More than Absolute Batman. So you got the height of Absolute right now propelling this forward to put Green Arrow in front of people. And dude, what you're gonna say, if you're not like a Green Arrow diehard, you know, did you watch the CW show? Like, it's Green Arrow, man. There's only dude, Kevin Smith killed it, right, which is also on the Trending 20.
Yeah.
But yo, I read issue 1 and I'm like, damn, dude, I'm gonna be a fan of Black Canary now. Like, he did it.
I've always had an affinity for Green Arrow as a character because Mike Grell's reboot of him being in the Seattle area, and even when there was on the CW, it was in Star City, so it's very much a Seattle Pacific Northwest feeling. Black Canary has always been a love interest, so this makes sense, and she seems
pretty badass, dude.
Cool in this one. I do like what they're doing with her character.
They're keeping the incentives the same kind of thing, where they're just releasing just one in 25. There's a ton of open to order variants. Key collection for that list. I just wanted to point out some just dope retailer variants by artists I really enjoy. Tyler Kirkham, Battle Damage, absolutely killed it.
Yep.
Alan Qua, powerful. Dexter Soy, keep an eye out on Dexter Soy. He's pumping out so many gorgeous, stunning, just very violent sometimes, but then also so stylized covers. Then, of course, Ryan freaking Benjamin. Hot damn, dude, that's a scary looking Green Arrow.
So we've been a fan of Porn Sack Pieces Show since Infidel and The Good Asian, but you cannot sleep on Rafael Albuquerque's art and Marcelo Maiello's coloring. This makes the comic book.
Let me know in the comments. Did you get it? Which one? Did you read it? What'd you think? No spoilers. And as always,
geek responsibly.
Enough said. And that's the end of the video. Yo, I forgot to pick a winner today. Ryan comes back next week to help. So we have the EOM Virgin exclusive. I'll announce it next week. Join the SMS group on ComicTom.com. You put your phone number in. That's where we source all of our giveaways. And not only will I announce this book next week, I have a second one. We'll announce 2. Have a great week.
Hi, I'm Becca. How can I help you today?
I'll get this ready, Dose. Sorry to interrupt, but this is important.
I have read Green Arrow.
A highly lethal weapon.
And
First grade class.
Come on, man.
Elementary. In approximately 4.
Let us know. Give us the skinny.
Buy comic books.
Should we buy it? Should we buy 40 copies of it? Is it going to be the next thing? Is this the heat? Is this the peak? Like Turok Dinosaur Hunter number 1 was the peak of the 90s hype comics. And from that point on, the crash began.
On the hot 10 ever since the creation of the list, and we've been covering it since day one over 5 years.
Which is crazy because this isn't even the first appearance of the Defenders. We're talking about Marvel Feature 1 if you want that first appearance, which only has 25 9.8s. This has 35, which really isn't that many. And when you see a 9.8 sell for $3,400, that's up 14%. You kind of wonder, like, is this a good value? I mean, it's a really great cover. It's a picture frame Marvel. That Marvel Feature 1 is also good. It's a Neil Adams cover. Possibly 2 books you should be looking at, considering Defenders are right around the corner.
I love seeing this book on the list. Yes, it's a first solo title, but we're talking Defenders, which people are thinking right now of Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Iron Fist. This is Hulk, Subby,
And Doctor Strange.
dude. Totally different team. People don't care because they respect the collectible.
If you want to talk about respect, here at number 9, Fantastic Four, number 52. This book periodically just hits the list for no rhyme or reason, other than obviously the first appearance of Black Panther
Duh.
and a major key in the FF series and in comics, period.
Also,
Yeah,
word
man.
up, there
Come
are
on now.
Very few, I would say, A-list Marvel characters. You can get mid-grade copies for around $500. I personally bought a 3.0 for like around $300. I just picked up an affordable key. I want to know in the comment section, what was the last affordable key you picked up? Let's jump to number 8 with Conan the Barbarian, issue number 1. This is some historical sales that have just taken place this week, and I think some people may be surprised because there's a big misunderstanding about how well this book has performed since the comic boom.
Conan the Barbarian, number 1. People love this freaking book. And they love
The
the
book
movie.
rocks.
And the
And
movie's around the corner with Arnold coming back. So
don't
that's
need
extremely
it.
exciting for a massive generation of people who read this and watched him on the big screen. Now, this book sold twice in a 9.8 for $91.50.
Two different
Wow.
sales, too. We checked the books.
And with an average of 78.71, that's up 16%. Now, you talked about this book selling at highs, and this is an all-time high almost, with the caveat of 2022 when this book sold for $14,000 plus. Since then, it hasn't come anywhere near that, except for these 2 numbers.
That same year, the book trended below $8,000. That $14,000 was an overpayment. Something's up with that sale. I omit it entirely. These 2 sales taking place this month are the record setting to me. This is the new all-time high that Conan 1 has reached.
Number 7, Avengers number 1. This book had an interesting sale at a 9.0, which appears to have gone under the radar, if you ask me, and undersold by potentially $10,000.
Say hello to Sara Lee Half Loaves. Half the loaf, all the love.
Ira Toyota of Danvers is a 2025 Toyota President's Award winner because honest pricing is the way we...
We had a 9.0 in 2024, so for $37,000. This one, signed by Stan Lee on the interior page, was a blue label. It doesn't have the certification of a yellow, so I wonder if it got overlooked because it sold for $35,380.
I looked at the listing. Does it really market that there's a signature on the inside? Like, you have to kind of look for it, and at first glance, it does look like a standard blue label because it is. The signature's on the first page. Well, I would imagine if a 9.0 came to market, it would go for right around the same amount. Wouldn't be surprised if it sold a little bit higher. I think someone got a free sig.
I think you're right, and if I had listed this book like that, I'd be a little frustrated with Heritage not doing a better job on notating something so important.
You know by now I could be your comic dealer. I can send you your comics every single month. Cover price, pre-orders, bagged and boarded, shipped in a custom box. Dungeon Crawler Carl, we got the Absolute Batman homages for pre-sale right now. Dan Quintana, Absolute 22. Don't miss it. Don't overpay. Hit ComicTom.com. Pre-order it. Let's talk about number 6 on the list. Amazing Spider-Man number 14 from 1964. You love this book. I love this
First
book.
Green
Ditko,
Goblin.
baby. 4.5 is up 37%. The 5.5 is up 35%. Let's talk about an incomplete copy. Some people would poo-poo it. Missing a centerfold. Going for just over $700. What do you think about that?
This is an interesting pickup by this person. I don't know if they had a centerfold and they wanted to marry it, okay? But regardless, this presents like a 4.5 in holder. And it's got a spine roll. It needs a press. I mean, this is just one of those situations where you're like, damn, I can just get a nice looking copy, incomplete or not, for probably half of what I would have gotten it for if it was a graded 4.0 or 3.5.
I think this is a great purchase. Not every major key needs to be complete, especially if you don't mind that it's missing a centerfold or something. Like, I would definitely stay clear of like problems on the cover, that cover, but it's just missing a coupon or something. You're saving like $1,000, and the book presents very well. I think most people.
You
as soon as
said
they
it was a
probably would
4.4.
poo-poo an incomplete copy.
That's not a.
100%. I would
not a
generally
great
do that
copy.
with situations like this, especially with a color strike like that one. I mean, you're just kind of like, I probably would have paid $700 myself.
Let us know what you think about
What?
that in the comment section below. Do you guys
I'm
buy
confused.
incomplete copies?
It's a 4.
Especially when the eye appeal is so good. Number 5 on the list is Amazing Spider-Man 129. Did you watch Punisher Last Kill?
I liked it, but I was shocked that I started getting messages from people who didn't like it because I just kind of thought, oh, it was good for me. I mean, I got to see this broken guy, which I understood why he was broken, and then just completely tear it up the rest of the movie. Okay, granted, he battled with demons, so I understand that. He's got demons to get through.
He's got to justify all the pain he's causing, all the destruction. You got to kind of build that up. It makes sense why we saw him screaming so much.
Yeah, he went from this vengeful demon of like his past to like, oh, I have a higher purpose here. More than just revenge. Now I'm actually protecting like people I know in a territory. So I thought that was good.
The action was dope, and it definitely filled the void that I have, like with the absence.
Anybody
of
see
past
Punisher movie?
season
I have
2.
no interest,
I
so
will reserve
let me
my
know
opinion,
if it's
however, until
worthwhile.
it's a brand new day, 'cause as a
Punisher, one of my least favorite characters. Let me plug in my phone. It's running low on juice.
I have expected more.
Why was it called Last Kill?
That's a really good question.
Is it Last Kill as a revenge kill? And now it's different. I just don't understand that. So like, there's probably videos out there, and I should probably freaking just Google it. But someone in the comment section, tell me why it's called Last Kill.
Last Kill sitting with a 75% Rotten Tomatoes, 83% audience score. What did you think about it? It was only 44 minutes long. I wish it was double the length, but maybe I just like being spoiled with superhero stuff. You have a convention you're going out to, and we have a book to get to that is blowing my mind.
Yeah, if you guys are in the Indiana area, come catch me there June 5th through the 7th. Ganadu Comics is hosting a panel. I'll be sitting down there with Tyler Main and some others, answering some questions, trivia this, trivia that, and there's going to be tons of prizes that's going to be given away. I'll also be set up at a booth. Follow me on Instagram. I'll get you some more details there at Golden Age Guru.
Go see the Guru. Number 4 on the list is Invincible. Number 1, brother, they came back. 298 to 196. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
In the grand scheme, there's quite a few of that book for the print run size, but it's not the easiest paper. So getting a 9.8 is a freaking win.
Yo, congratulate me in the comment section by hitting the like button. We have some crazy sales of Invincible 1 this week. $7,200 sale. You sold one as well, right?
Yeah, I got $7,300 for mine on my site, and like, let's not forget there was also a $7,900 sale and a $7,500 sale of this book.
$7,900 is a record-setting sale. This book is approaching $8K. I don't even know what to do with it right now. Like, I don't know if I want to sell it yet.
If you're tracking this book, every year it's jumping. So would I be surprised to see that book at $9K this time next year or more? Probably not.
What do you think I should do in the comment section below? By the way, the freaking custom CGC label looks so damn good with Invincible on it.
I was torn. I was like, do we give it our Secret Sound label or do I give it the custom label? So gonna have to just write some handwritten certifications of where that truly came from.
Follow us on Instagram. That came from a collection purchase of over 350,000 comic books. Number 3 on the list is Incredible Hulk 181, first full appearance of Logan. 9.4 crossing the $10,000 marker. 5.5 went up 16%. A 2.5 sold for 15% more this past week. No surprise, right? Like, what is there more to say about this besides as Avengers Doomsday approaches, we're going to see more investments made in X-Men keys. I bet this is just the start of it. We're going to start seeing all these other undervalued X-Men books start to lift up during and post the movie.
Clearly, there's confidence in this book. We're consistently seeing it on the Hot 10, which means it's selling at least 3 times in a week above the 12-month average.
Including number 2 on the list with Giant Size X-Men number 1. A 9.8 went for $27,000 this past week.
Wow.
And I like the comparison made over on the best comic app in existence, Key Collector Comics. Use that code TOM101. Get access to the Hot 10 list. You get access to the entire catalog of comic books.
I'm just having fun with this now.
Second printing.
It's going to tighten the hell out of it.
Reprint. It's at your fingertips. It will better your comic hunt and collecting.
If you're on the Wall of Fame, remember, today only you get 20% off. As my way of saying thank you. You can also thank Age 21.
And to give the comparison,
whose
Amazing
idea
Spider-Man
it was to give you
122
guys a
Kevin Feige
discount.
has only 123 9.8s. So you just wonder. I mean, they're both keys. I would feel that they should be a little bit closer, and I get they're like different price points. I think a 9.8 of ASM 122 is around a $3,800 book. Massive discrepancy in price, but it's still a key. So you would think that this book in a 9.8 should at least be 220 copies.
Yeah, what do you guys think in the comment section? Like, clearly, I think there's more people who would value a giant size X-Men in their collection. I mean, $20,000 difference is huge, but it also makes me feel like maybe ASM could be undervalued right now.
I mean, let's just say it is. I mean, what do you think the price should be on a book like that then?
I mean, only 123 copies, so at least closer to 5.
You let us know what you think. Let's talk about the number one hottest book in the world, the last book on this list, but the one to kick off Marvel, Fantastic Four #1.
A 7.0 broke $50,000, up 9%. And it wasn't this sale that put this book on the list. There's plenty of sales, but it was this high sale that put it at #1. That's some investment dollars. People believe in the first Marvel family.
We get to see a 4.0 sell for $12,900 and a 1.0 sell for $5,452. That's a 24% increase from the 12-month average of that. Now, here's a little bit of a thought experiment. Would you buy an FF #1 Golden Record reprint from 1966? That's 5 years later. It's basically the first reprint of this book for $5,000, or would you be buying a 1.0 of the original?
Here's the kicker,
1.0.
There are only 26 copies at a 9.8 of the Golden Record reprint. So you get a perfect looking book for the cost of a 1.0 first print. Which would you pick? And of course,
1.
Collect the old and gold and be responsible.
The other is a reprint.
Take a
Off
look
the
at the
ship.
giveaway this
Come
week.
on now.
Virgin variant limited to 1,000. Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 15. All you have to do is join the SMS.
Anybody have any questions or
Keep up with all of our
comments?
updates, but you also get entered into every single giveaway we do, and we do a lot of them every week.
Stop wasting money on this comic book. Really?
On this list this week, we have one of the worst spec plays I have ever seen.
Oh,
One of the
let's
worst
see that.
reasons to buy a comic book since I've been covering the market. Hit the like and subscribe. We're talking about the most trending comic books of the week. And number 10 on the list is Absolute Batman Arkham issue number 1.
Oh, we got
origin of
Daytona.
Arkham Asylum. And a
Words of
little bit
wisdom
the
from
origin.
Daytona. Let's tune in and comment. I have read Green Arrow, and you haven't commented on whether you liked it or not. He does say, I do feel Absolute Universe is at the peak, and this is a mini-series. Oh, Green Arrow's a mini-series. No shit. Oh, do people apparently over a million sales on Green Arrow, even for a mini-series. That's interesting. I found the store good, but very cliche. The story was good, but very cliche. Art was pretty good. Thank you for the thoughts, Daytona. Daytona says, I'm under the impression it was a mini along with Catwoman. Oh, I didn't know that either. But the new Firestorm book was a mini that got extended. Firestorm, is that mainstream universe, I'm guessing, because I don't know of an Absolute Firestorm. I'm not sure if that's the best idea to advertise something as a mini series because people will wait for the trades. If it's a 4-issue mini, I would wait for the trade. So, not sure how in touch with the comic scene I am, but that's my thought process. Whereas an ongoing series, especially something within the Absolute Universe, seems to have legs. I've never heard Green Arrow being discussed so passionately. I don't think ever. I like Green Arrow very much as a character, but I find it hard that he could carry his own series over a long period of time, and yet he has. Okay, anything else in the chat? I believe it is mainstream, yeah. I actually bought in one of those bulk boxes that they sell here on Whatnot. I actually bought about a dozen issues of Firestorm from the 80s. And I'm thinking about giving it a read, try it out. I love the design of the character. I think it's quirky and different. And the flaming hair is cool. And I like the off center chest design. And I like the idea of two people sharing the same body. Uh, like all those concepts, but I've honestly never read more than I think I read the first appearance of Firestorm, issue 1, way back in the 70s. I may have read, he was a backup story in The Flash in the 70s, and I think I read the first appearance of that because it was drawn by George Perez. But I don't have much other experience with Firestorm. I think I have the issue where he joins the Justice League. Probably haven't read that since it came out, if I read it at all. I'm inspired. Who was it? Palooks, who went to a show on the West Coast. He got John Romita Jr. to do a sketch on a jam piece that I had done, and he said, "I can't do anything this good." So I'm kind of thinking like that for this client here. He's going to pick this up at Fan Expo Philadelphia, and get other artists to kind of contribute to it. So that should be fun. See how that turns out. So I'm kind of inspired to give them a nice drawing that the other artists will have to match in terms of quality. I take care of you guys. Don't forget, if you're on the Wall of Fame, you get 20% off any purchase today. If you like, we can start our own virtual shopping cart. Just tell me what the items you'd like. If there's more than one, tell me what items you'd like to pick up for 20% off, and I'll create an individual item for you to purchase that includes all of the items you're interested in. So something to think about. I'll probably be here till about 3 today. I'm going to start preparing for Fan Expo Philly. Hopefully it'll be a good show. I haven't been to Philly in about 20 years. So Philly, here I come. 20 years. I think the last time I was there was for a show. It was for the Wizard Con. Good times. And last Saturday we were at WickedCon, which was a great little show. It reminded me of the old school shows I used to go to, comic conventions that I would go to in the Albany area when I was a child. What fun. Very casual atmosphere. Everybody's friendly, smiling. It was a gorgeous day. I just got to figure out where to park without spending a fortune. It cost me $55 to park at the WickedCon. Got to solve that problem. Okay, back to the podcast. Oh, what's going on here? The story takes heavy license from modern day events. I think Green Arrow would be a story you would like, Joe. Yes, because he kills corporate CEOs. Daytona says Firestorm and Justice League are the first comics I read as a kid. Oh, cool. Very cool. Daytona, you know what I would like. You know my tastes. I like to I like stories where the CEOs are chased down. It fits with my with the Liberator character, actually, doesn't it? Now that I think about it, the Liberator infiltrates the corporate database of Dinosaur Incorporated and steals some key files, along with a liquid metal substance that he wears as a second skin that allows him to access the web psychically with his brain power. Hey, lady, brain power. We've established in New Zodiac Pisces that he shut the entire corporation down for 17 minutes when he stole the information. Actually, after he stole the information. Main drag is. I'm still going there, man. I'm still saying we need more shadow down here. We can always add white if it screws things up. Nope, looks good. I guess, yeah, Green Arrow, Absolute Green Arrow could be like a modern day Robin Hood. Again, that's how I sell New Zodiac's Aquarius as well. He's the Robin Hood of cyberspace. Steals from the info rich, gives to the info poor. Absolute Green Arrow and the Liberator should team up. Main drag is knowing that and holding someone else tight. All right, what's next? You have to write a story where Liberator heroically hooks your scanner to your iPad. That's only an exciting story for me, dude. Yeah, that's not going to work for the mainstream, I don't think. Although I did read a post, it was like a meme. It was a picture of a storybook, and it said, it was kind of looked like just like a simple kind of children's storybook kind of drawing, and the title was "The Printer That Simply Worked," and I thought, and other fairy tales, and I thought that was great. So I don't know, maybe you're onto something. Maybe I should do a story like that. I'll give it some further thought. Good times. All right, let's do some webbing, and we're all set, I think. This needs to be filled in. Okay, back to the podcast. You should look on YouTube for Nick Burns, your company's computer guy. Nick Burns, your company's computer guy. Okay. I'll do that after this episode. How about that?
Of the Joker. We have a $12 high average sale and a $45 sale for a recent CGC 9.8. It's a 105% increase in copies sold this week.
Back in MegaCon this year, Scott Snyder mentioned on panel that this one shot wasn't the last one he was going to do, that he has more planned because Arkham Asylum isn't subject to just Gotham. No, they went global. There are other asylums that have narratives that will be told in the future. The second printing of this issue is my favorite. It's a Derek Chu cover.
Number 9 on the list, DC KO Boss Battle number 1 from 2026. $12 high average sales, and this is the cover that meets all covers. This is Superman versus Homelander. The one that I've always wanted, because you know what? Homelander's kind of a parody of Superman. That's the thing, how this works. But such a demand because we have the series finale of The Boys coming out in theaters on the 19th of May and streaming at home on the 20th of May.
All this causing a 200% increase in copies sold, but this one in particular is done by Derek Robertson, the co-creator of The Boys. Gotta put some respect on the dude who helped invent Homelander and created his design, making this book an awesome keynote. Number 8 on the list, I think, is undervalued.
I agree wholeheartedly. Number 8, Mortal Kombat Collector's Edition from 1992. I am no stranger to putting my quarter up. Lots of arcades around the Seattle area saw me growing up, and I loved Mortal Kombat. This book's a ghost. I've literally never touched one of these. And I've touched millions of comics in my life. $200 high average sales, but get this. The most recent graded sale, we had a CGC 9.4 go for $400 just this last week. We had a CGC 9.6 go for $600 last month. There was a 9.8 that went for $625 back in January. And really, when you look at all of the available data, that might have been undervalued. value. There are only 32.98 on the census. It's a 210% increase in copies sold. But I think if this mail away only variant was more readily available, you would see a much higher percentage increase.
We had the release of Mortal Kombat 2 featuring Carl Urban.
Yep.
So we're going from the boys to Mortal Kombat
Sure.
right now. It feels fitting to place it here. But this is also drawn and written by the co-creator of Mortal Kombat. What a cool collectible.
Oh, this is really a cool collectible. The fact that they did this for the first game and Mortal Kombat 2 got another one that is even more scarce.
Dude, there's only 36 copies on the census in total
Yep.
of the number 2.
And no 9/8.
Did you see Mortal Kombat? I think I'm going to watch it this weekend. Let me know in the comment section below. We got to move on to number 7 on the list because we actually have 2 books back to back. DC villain keys that are spiking right now. Not because of Absolute Batman. Number 7 is Teen Titans number 2 from 1980. $125 high average sales. $5.95 for a CGC 9.8 in May.
Wow.
300% increase in copies sold after director Greg Motala. You know him from Superbad, you know him from Adventureland, and you know him from Peacemaker. Has been reported to be tied to the Deathstroke Bane film. Remember that got optioned like a year ago, circulating that James Gunn was going to bring either a team-up movie or specifically these characters into a movie to lead.
Deathstroke. What an unfortunate name for a character.
300% increase in copies sold
Stroke.
this week. If you want Deathstroke's first official cover appearance, you should be looking at issue number 34, even though like his legs
Death
show
Blow
up
is
on
not much
number
better.
2. It's a bit of a controversial issue, but always worth reading. It is a
They should have a team of
run,
Blow
and I do wanna
versus
throw out
Stroke.
something for those conspiracy theorists. Yes, we've seen Deathstroke before, played by Joe Manganiello in an after-credit scene in the Snyder Universe. And who played Lex Luthor? Oh, Jesse Eisenberg, who happened to be in Adventureland, which Greg Mottola worked on. So there are ways that we could get some Snyderverse stuff back together, even though James Gunn is helming all of this together. And now that we've talked about Deathstroke, let's talk about Bane.
At number 6, we got Batman Vengeance of Bane from 1993. $80 high average sales, $300 for a CGC 9.8, and an increase in copies sold of 155%. Not because of Absolute Batman, which is kind of crazy to say. Right. Bane is, I would say he's been more relevant because of Absolute Batman than his damn anniversary.
I really think it was more relevant, yeah.
All right, well, let us know what you think because this right here is
I
something
read that
think
issue.
people
I
were
didn't care for it.
expecting.
I
You
didn't
know,
think it was
these
great.
were rumors. We even didn't really believe it when we heard that Deathstroke and Bane may get their own thing, but it's seemingly happening. So I want to throw
Didn't
out there,
think much of
Vengeance of Bane 2 does not get enough love.
Oh, it doesn't. Every time I find that mint green cover by Glenn Fabry, you know him from all the Preacher stuff.
Mhm.
I love getting that book undervalued supremely. And you know, you want to finish the story, you might as well grab it.
Yo, it looks so good next to issue number 1, you know, because issue 1's got Bane in the center, Batman in the background, and then they put Batman in the center with Bane in the background. How do you not just get both? Number 5 on the list, one of the worst reasons to buy a comic book. I'm just going to say it. We have Iceman number 1 from 1984. $3 high average sales. There was a newsstand copy in May for a 9.8 that went for $130. Which, honestly, I mean, it's Iceman 1, 1984. That's not a bad price for a newsie, but let me read you the reason why it's spiking. A 400% increase in copies sold following the late surge of issues 1 through 4, disappearing from eBay, potentially tied to Drake, the rapper.
Oh, no.
May 15th album titled Iceman.
No. Why? No.
There's no connection here.
There's no connection here.
Oh, his
This
name
one
is
of those
Bobby
mini
Drake.
series that was just released between, I don't know, 84 and 86. Nightcrawler spiked when people like Nightcrawler.
Bobby Drake is
Wolverine, Kitty Pryde,
is Iceman's name.
Up to read, but do not buy it because of a Drake album.
Yo, Drake was into Degrassi. You know, that was the whole thing I watched when I was a kid. I would turn it off when my parents were around. It was uncomfortable. But I will say, Iceman doesn't get enough love, okay? One of the best scenes in, like, Marvel's cinematic history is Iceman chilling the soda bottle. I think it was a glass bottle for Wolverine, you know, in the kitchen, in the X-Mansion.
I'm going to go you one further.
Oh,
So,
you mean
did
like
you
this?
know that the guy that played Iceman, Shawn Ashmore, in the X-Men movie, who also happened to be in Animorphs, he has a twin brother who was Jimmy Olsen, which is in the Smallville.
You mean like this?
Happened to be
Deadpool 1036.
More air and ash, more. Are they identical?
Iceman's hand cooling Deadpool's beer.
I thought that dude from
This
X-Men
predates
was-
X-Men, I believe. Could be
They're
wrong.
twins.
Let me know in the comment section below. He's blowing my mind.
You're
I think we're
welcome.
The same person. Also, yo, did you see that Dan Quintana's Absolute Batman 22 cover was revealed yesterday, and it's on ComicTom.com for pre-order for cover price, shipped in a bag and board in a custom box. Now, hit up your LCS first. Do a Google search. If it's not working out, give them a second, give them a third try. But if you've depleted your options, I want to be your LCS virtually through the powers of the internet. And just hit ComicTom.com. I put FOC.
Or go to Riverbend Comics. Get the best deals.
And you can pick up and secure your copy of Dan Quintana's Absolute 22 featuring Harley Quinn right now for cover price. I'll put the link in the description. Let's talk about number 4 on the list, because this book, I personally do not understand. I need you to help explain something to me, because number 4 is Masters of the Universe number 1 from Marvel Comics 1986, okay? $70 high average sales, $349 for a CGC 9.8. The reason why, 300% increase in copies sold. June 5th is the release of the He-Man movie.
2 weeks.
Expected to make already 35 mil plus. So it's looking good.
Right.
We're hearing some good reviews of this, early reviews. But the reason why I want to get your understanding here, I don't understand what's going on.
Artisanal bread, buns, and rolls. We're made for this.
Bang, by bang. Not on my watch. Stop dropping your bank beats on every. 2 years prior, Masters of the Universe was released, the first series at DC Comics. Why is that book worth less than the one that's on the list today?
I have always thought that.
What's up, Joe? Says Johnny Pez. What's up, Johnny Pez? Johnny Pez on the Wall of Fame. Johnny Pez, don't go changing. VIP.
One from DC Comics, the 3-issue miniseries from 1982, and then you have the DC Comics Presents number 47. So the miniseries, we're looking at copy sell for $20-$30 for the DC one that was released 4 years before the Marvel one was. I think we're seeing a little bit of the Batman Adventures 12 bump, because Star Comics were really pushed towards kids buying them. And at that point in time, a lot of kids were watching He-Man Masters of the Universe, playing with the action figures, and their parents were buying the comic books. I think the comic books themselves are just generally tougher to get because they are in lower condition. So people will pay more for high-grade copies.
So I thought it was 2 years. So we're a 4-year difference.
82 to 86.
And
yep.
DC was the first one. You can pick that book up for like sub $30 in height.
You can, and it's a mini series that I think you can get all 3 parts of it for like $50-$60.
Are you going to see Masters of the Universe when it hits theaters? I am. And number 3 on the list is Amazing Spider-Man 573 from 2008, an AF-15 homage featuring Stephen Colbert. $35 high average sales, $150 for a CGC 9.8. His show is ending soon, The Late Show. Never watched it. I actually only know Stephen Colbert for one thing, and that he's a giant Lord of the Rings fan.
Oh, yes.
Essentially a Lord of the Rings historian, and he's been tapped to help with the production of future Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah, I think there's an Elijah Wood thing where he shows up on and he gets interviewed by, and Stephen Colbert absolutely tears him up down because Elijah Wood has never read the books.
All right, well,
what?
It's fair to say, 400% increase in copies sold, sure, because the show's ending. He's on the cover. It's official Marvel, sure. But AF-15 homages, they tend to go under the radar, and then they spike eventually. I mean, we've been covering this list for over 8 years. Hit the subscribe button every single week, and this isn't the first time this has happened.
So the Amazing Fantasy 15 homages are always a good bet if you just want to grab them when you see them. But when you have celebrities on the cover, like recently we talked about Weird Al being on the cover, William Shatner being on the cover of World's Finest. So this week, World's Finest number 40, when we have Superman and Stephen Colbert on the cover, it makes sense that this one is going to be spiking as well.
ASM 669. I don't think people know that there are like 5, last count, I could be wrong, 5 different AF-15 homages, and 4 of which I don't even know the person who's swinging on the cover. The only person I remember is Dan Slott,
yep.
Right? There's a Dan Slott homage, all right? It's freaking dope.
Why?
If you're like me, and you can't remember, or you don't know everything about comics, what you need to do is download the best comic app in existence. It's called Geek Collector Comics. It's available for both Androids and iPhones. Use code Tom101. You support the show. Get a free 2-week subscription. But for free, you can type in ASM, Amazing Spider-Man, and you're going to see every single
$6.69.
issue. And further issues, you know, the ones that are coming out next week or next month. And you can also toggle on and off keys and look at every variant to every issue. 5 homages I bet people don't even know. Now, let's talk about number 2 on the list. Boys number 1. $100 high average sales. $360 for a recent CGC 9.8. This is the first appearance of A-Train, Billy Butcher, and Huey, okay? This show is one of my favorite superhero anything that's ever happened. And as of late, we're seeing a lot of poor reviews of episodes. And I think is unwarranted. Or people maybe are misunderstanding why it's being rated low. My theory, it's not because of the quality of the show. The narrative is excellent. Homelander going full God mode. Literally. They're worshiping him, dude.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That sounds like a cool idea. It was just the ass jokes and things going in people's asses. I got tired of that. Every episode has an ass gag.
Removed from the show. And I think that disappointment, it's soul crushing. I'm watching this show, crying at certain points, man. It's heart wrenching. And it doesn't mean that the show is bad. It's that it's so damn good, people don't want it to go.
There's a reason why they're making a prequel.
That's true. Like, this world isn't...
Dude, I think we're done.
Back in time with Soldier Boy. We're talking about Herogasm just last week, you know, with his first appearance there. So don't give up on the boys. And I'll also throw out there, we don't see Homelander until issue number 3. That's the first appearance of the 7. Issue number 2, Major Key. First appearance of Mother's Milk, Kamiko, and Frenchie get to hunting. Which leaves us with only one more book on the list. And it just came out on Wednesday, Russ. We have Absolute Batman, number 20, cover A, $12 high average sales, which is nuts unless you understand what's going on.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about this last week and how there was anticipation because the book was damaged. And when the news came out from DC via Lunar, most of you people got the information from Lunar or your local shop, they're releasing a second print. People are going to be able to get a second print. It's coming out. They are not redoing the first print. They're not going to fix it. It's just going to be damaged. So we have people who are pressing and fixing these books and trying to sell them for astronomical prices right now.
Yeah, there's like listings on eBay for 100 plus of a cover A that have been fixed, you know, like as much as possible.
Sure.
I personally pressed 100 copies of this book because I had so many people pre-order it from my website and it was such a hot book. And I kind of wanted the challenge. Dude, my room where my press is was going off every 7 to 8 minutes, dude. I pressed every single one. I cannot guarantee that I will do this going forward. It was near impossible for me to be able to do this, but it was such a special book. I read it as soon as I got my hands on it. There are cameo appearances. I'm not going to get into any.
What a great
It's a super
compliment for a comic book.
Quite possibly one of my
You read it as
favorite
soon as you
thus
bought
far
it.
of Absolute Batman, and the fact that the entire print run and alt covers and exclusive covers have some type of damage from production, it made me want to go out of my way to press them. But I still sold them for cover price. I didn't sell them for $100, dude. What the hell? There isn't no fixing entirely this type of damage. You're missing like page matter. It's so indented that it's not a fix that you can do. You're just making the best out of a bad situation.
There are so many layers to this onion because if you're a local comic shop and you get these copies, are you going to give them away for free? Or are you going to try and sell them? I know what I do, but what would you do? Let us know in the comments down below. Are you going to try and send a copy in to get it graded? Do you want to pay someone to press it? Do you want to press it yourself? Or would you send it to CGC? Because CGC, I mean, they're in-house pressers. They do a pretty good job.
It's cheaper than, what, the $80 upcharge we're seeing, $90 upcharge on
It
eBay.
will be cheaper and easier. And we've heard rumors that DC has told CGC that...
No, they did. It actually says here, they've informed CGC. I'm reading it in the email.
Well, then CGC has been informed that this book had rampant damages throughout the production process. But is that actually going to equate to you're going to get a 9.8 with a damaged book?
Yeah,
You're just gonna see a
how's that
swap
going
of
to work?
9.2s in 6 to 12 weeks. I mean, this is something that there's a lot going on in this book, and I don't think this is the last time we're going to be talking about it.
What do you think in the comment section below? Did you rate Absolute 20? We have 2 giveaways to announce, so stay tuned to the end. And of course, as always, eat responsibly. No side. And that's the end of the video, Russ. We did it. It was pretty okay.
It's a little distressing that printers don't have any quality control. Like, I don't know. It's not like, the newsprint days when they were printing a million copies of everything. And it was low-end production. Nowadays, this is the market of 9.8s of graded comics and stuff like that. You'd think there'd be some kind of quality control at the printers to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen.
There'll be a pop-up window upon landing. Once you're in for life, as long as you don't unsubscribe. That way you keep up with all of our drops, all of our news, but most importantly, you'll be part of all of our giveaways we do, because this is the only list we source from, and the only way we can contact you to get your information to send you your prize. Have a great week.
Hi, I'm Justin, a nurse practitioner. How are you doing today?
Nothing new from Comic Tom. Wow, nothing new at all. Okay, no problem. Anything else? Strong debut. Strong debut for Absolute Green Arrow. Let's see.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Spinner Rack. I'm your host, Chris. We're going to talk about the latest comic book news. We're going to review the latest comic books. Some pretty big releases like Absolute Green Arrow's debut, a new James Tynion book, Odin. Will be told is to make a better place in the world. Evolved, Mad Cave, Dark Horse, I don't know. Image, what I'll keep this in mind because that was a generous donation. The Cryptid Core, I'll keep it in mind. Let me backtrack to this news that I was talking about. Playmates is really important. Antarctic. Okay, thanks for the heads up. I'll keep an eye out. And I'm going to start by talking about Absolute Green Arrow because obviously the Absolute line is pretty big in comics right now. Yep, comics definitely came out last week. I was looking forward to this one because I really enjoyed writer Pornsock Pichot's book, The Good Agent. Great crime book. And, Green Arrow often is a crime, street level character. We've also got artwork by Raphael Albuquerque, who's pretty fantastic. So what's the difference? What's different with Absolute compared to the mainstream book? The main thing is this Green Arrow is a mystery, first of all, and is killing billionaires.
Nice.
That doesn't necessarily make him the main character, to be honest. He's not the main character. This Green Arrow is the antagonist, but he's also driving the story forward in a very real way. The story instead follows, usual supporting cast member, Black Canary. In this, she's really known more as just Dinah Lance. And Dinah Lance in this was a cop. She was briefly an MMA fighter, and now she's moved on to being an executive bodyguard for well-paying clients. She doesn't really enjoy that work, but she takes it because her father is older and very sick, and insurance only covers so much. So she's basically forced to do some work that she doesn't really enjoy. I think a lot of us can relate to that much. We have to work for our benefits and take care of our family members. So I found those elements relatable, even though it's obviously heightened. She's protecting, big clients like, rock stars at one point when we're introduced to her. And then she goes to work for Hector Hammond, who's traditionally a pretty big evil, like rich guy in the DC universe.
Green Lantern character.
Yep, there's a difference there. We don't necessarily know much about her mother yet in the mainstream universe. Her mother was the first Black Canary, and she took over that mantle. Her father in this, I think, was also a cop. Is alive though, and he's traditionally not alive. But it makes them both interesting. We do get to see plenty of flashbacks to her history with Oliver Queen. And this Oliver Queen became rich not because of inherited wealth, but because he had a good idea. He had an idea to make a stock trading app that allowed anyone to trade. You didn't have like preset minimums and stuff, and they didn't take large percentages or anything. So he was trying to redistribute and spread the wealth, essentially. He's like, hey, power comes from having money. This is a good idea that can make me money, but the goal is to make a better place in the world. And that does align with what we've known of as Oliver Queen. He's wanted to help the little guy. But I did like the idea that he wasn't just sort of from inherited wealth, that he actually came up with something. Even if he's a little bit of a playboy and stuff, he did have a good idea. And he does become Green Arrow in this, and he's already been killed before this book starts. So, who's the new Green Arrow? Look, this Green Arrow is like a serial killer that doesn't just kill some of these billionaires, literally tortures them. Like, these are two green arrows in this billionaire's eyes. And we've got, suspects of who could be this Green Arrow. Hammond's company thinks it could be, Roy Harper or Mia Dearden. They've both been Speedy or Red Arrow in the comics sidekick. I don't know Tom Holloway, whether he's also been a character in the mainstream books. I didn't recognize Tom Holloway. Maybe that's somebody completely new. Look, the premise is great. The art, I think, is really cool. I like the colors in this for the palette, but I would also argue they're a little too dark. And I have this issue with movies these days. Everything's too dark. It's entirely possible that it literally is somehow a revived Oliver Queen. It's possible. It's possible that it's one of the people that he's had as a sidekick or ally. It's also possible that it's some sort of a copycat that's just trying to take up some of the mantle or ideas that this character had. I love the new mask. Let me see if I can find a good example of that. Some awesome action scenes in this. I guess you can see it best in... there's got to be a close-up somewhere, right? It's got to be. Maybe there isn't.
I don't see one.
All right, I guess there isn't. So I'll see if I can bring this up a little closer, and if it'll refocus.
He looks like, I guess, Taskmaster.
He's got a pretty...
like a skull.
It's a demonic mask, but there's angles here. It reminds me of both Oni masks from Japan, as well as sort of that Van Dyke beard that and mustache that Oliver has had in some of the older original comics. Not original, because he was actually clean-shaven originally, but by the 70s. It's good art. I like the premise quite a bit. I find this version of Dinah Lance... Wait, Dinah? Yeah, I think it's Dinah.
Yes, Dinah.
Laurel was... Wait, which one was Dinah and which one's Laurel? All of a sudden I'm confusing myself.
Dinah is Black Canary. Come on now. Come on now. This is 101.
Dinah. Yeah, that's right. I got myself completely confused there. Yeah, it's a mystery. It's got badass ninja type action. It's got somebody using arrows for their intended purpose, you know? When you consider what you could do with a bow and arrow, it's a lot like if somebody was running around with a gun but trying not to kill, right? Like Hawkeye and Green Arrow in mainstream superhero continuity.
Or swords.
They can do amazing things with bow and arrow, and they're usually like, you know, they're shooting it through somebody's clothes and pinning them to the wall. But realistically, those are weapons meant to stop someone.
How many issues of Defenders have you read with Valkyrie, who claims she's using the flat of her sword?
And like I say, I like the palette. The palette is good. I just felt that there were a few pages where, honestly, I think it's showing up really good here on screen, like with this top down. But I've got a slight angle, so the light here is giving me a reflection on this glossy page. And yeah, like right here, I've got a strip of light that's bright white, and therefore I can't make out the details on the dark on the other side. It looks better to you guys right now. Arrows can be grappling hooks, arrows can be boxing gloves, arrows can
Sure
be
they can. It's comics. Stop it.
cereal. I've always said arrows can be microphones, arrows can be soda. I did see that.
Stop
that
it.
looked really fun, but the price is like such that I could never afford anything like that, no matter what. Yeah, the absolute green arrow is Luigi. I give this a recommend. That's the end of the. That's the bottom line. I definitely give it a strong recommend. In fact, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm excited to see more. I'm encouraged by what they've set up. I don't feel like they tried to do too much in this.
All right. Let's see. What's going on in the chat? Nick Burns, your company's computer guy. What's up, Joe? What's up, Johnny Pez? I'm back. Great looking Spidey. Hey, Joe. You mentioned a con. Sorry, I can't read this on my laptop. Let's go to the phone. You mentioned a con coming up. Is this for someone for the con coming up? This is for, yes, a person who I'm going to meet at Fan Expo Philadelphia. What podcast show are you listening to? I am listening to Comic Tropes After Dark. Good afternoon, Joe. Miss Mayhem in the house. Miss Mayhem on the Wall of Fame. Look out. I know she's on here because I saw it. There you are. Episode 165. Amazing. And we're up to, that was over 100 episodes ago. That your first appearance. Miss Mayhem's first appearance is episode 170. $165. I'm sorry. Miss Mayhem 70. Her first appearance is 165. Right here on the stream. Ooh-ah, good stuff. Collect that issue. Okay. We're gonna do. I'm gonna do something for a future show. Probably won't get this done in time for Philly, but maybe I will. We'll see. See how it goes. Let's see how quickly this turns out. Woohoo! Thank you for all of your support and being such an important part of the stream, Miss Mayhem. And that is why you are on the Wall of Fame. Nice. Be nice. Be nice. I think I need another razor blade. Okay, back to Comic Tropes After Dark.
Issue, but they laid a good amount of groundwork, and I hope that that groundwork can pay off with some really fun action and mystery scenes. I hope. I did. It was kind of fun. I think I even liked it more than the first one. I always, maybe not always, but just about always give James Tynion's books a try. Sometimes it's not always for me. A lot of times it is, though. This is one that he's teaming up with somebody else writing. It's written by Marguerite Bennett and James Tynion. Art by Letitia Cadanici. And the main character in this is not necessarily that good of a person. She's an investigative reporter who is trying to get into, she's been in like sort of like cults and stuff like that for articles, but she's trying to get deep into people that think that they're Nazis. Well, they are. But she's trying to get deep in and understand them to write an article. And she finally like convinces them enough to get brought along. There's like basically 8 of them, I want to say. They go on a bus trip up to really far north into like Sweden, I want to say. Anyway, a Nordic country. To do a ritual. Their goal is to bring forth a god. And they all do drugs and stuff. And they all have this vision of a stag asking them to follow them. And they do. They follow it deep into the woods. And they're tripping out for probably like days on end. And they dream of ritualistically slaughtering this deer. And then they all wake up from this shared hallucination. And they've done something absolutely horrific. I won't show you or tell you specifically what they did. But while drugged out of their mind, they did something absolutely horrific. And was this actually a real ritual? Is this just them, being bad people and being out in the wilderness?
I'm going to go back to work now. Will you be on tomorrow? I think so.
I don't know. I'll tell you, I liked it. I thought that the artwork
Enjoy your
was
job.
clear and consistent.
Happy to be here, man.
Each character was different enough that I could tell who was who. The panel-to-panel storytelling is good. The colors. Look at how like deep red this all is, right? Like that's not a realistic palette, really. Like there's not like a sunset time where everything is red like that. But have you ever seen the movie Mandy with Nicolas Cage?
What are you talking about?
It feels like you're on drugs while you're watching it. It is so surreal, and it is bathed. It is just washed in red hues all the time. And it makes it very creepy and disturbing and hard to relate to sometimes. Yes, they did. Yeah, that's interesting. Sounds like the movie.
I'm going to try a large piece.
Was decent. It was pretty good.
I should be doing new Zodiacs, but I'm going to try a large piece that I'm going to try to sell in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're not technically on drugs yet, but we're already sort of being positioned as the reader to feel a little out of it. Anyway, it's disturbing, it's creepy, and like I say, the main character, Adela, she's going pretty far, in this undercover role. she isn't like participating in anything hateful, but she's going to like their concerts and stuff where they're doing like they're said to do things like stomp on a dog on stage, and she's like pretending to be okay with it. Yeah, there's a little bit of Midsummer to this, a little bit of a culty aspect, and you're just out somewhere very, very remote, and you do get the feeling that no matter what's happening, like a best case scenario, a bunch of 20 somethings are lost in the woods. Best case scenario, and you don't get the feeling that there's help anywhere close by or realistic to reach. They're not going to easily be able to get any help. And if this ritual goes forward of actually summoning a god, you get the sense that it would not be a kind or benevolent or god or something that would like gift them stuff. Like the rituals they're talking about, it's not satanic, but it's definitely like, it's a scary take on paganism. It's a scary take on it. And that may not be realistic, but it feels, when you're reading it, it feels authentic. The characters are distinguishable, even though they're all sort of bad. They do have personality from one another and relationships. So I liked it. I'm very excited to see what the next issue is. I got vibes like some of the stuff you guys are saying, like The Ritual, Midsummer. I brought up Mandy, but things with basically cults or tiny groups of weirdos that are egging themselves on to do something horrible. Clean artwork, disturbing color palette. Jordi Belair on colors. I like the colors in this. Maybe even the best colors of what I read this week, actually, just to be clear. Like a nice limited palette that sets the scene. And I know I was just complaining about dark colors on the other book, but I'll also say that Rafael Albuquerque has an art style that has a certain amount of detail, whereas Leticia Cadenici, much more open line work, and so it can handle the darker hues without cluttering or muddying up the artwork. I think it's also appropriate to the tone. These are both, to a degree, horror books, but this is sort of a crime-focused mystery that has some horror elements, whereas this is flat out like horror. I'm glad I was able to get this really cool variant cover for Battle Beast. It is by the main artist, Ryan Ottley, but it's a very different art style for him. Ottley has been getting more and more detail-oriented as he's gone on with his career, but I don't feel like he's ever been a guy that does lots of cross-hatching to indicate roundness, shadows, things like that, but he did in this one. You can find the black and white art for this on Brian Ottley's Instagram. It's very interesting work. I like it quite a bit. I would be very interested in seeing him go more into doing hatching and cross-hatching with more of his artwork. I think it's just very appealing. Anyway, fun issue of Battle Beast. Fighting monsters and stuff, but the end result is that he's going to go up against eventually Conquest, which is a major enemy in the Invincible books. Oops, just flipped clothes on myself. If you look at this, and I didn't have it easy to get, but this is the exact
Any
same
absolute Batman
pose
blanks?
and
I do.
composition of Conquest's first appearance in Invincible that Ryan drew. It was Invincible here in his blue costume originally, but same pose.
I have
And
two left.
I feel like that would make sense, that if somebody made their arrival known in a certain way, they'd probably do that, or inspired or motivated to act like that in a consistent manner.
How much? Well, it depends on what you want. I'm reserving them for sketches. So whatever your commission request is, we'll do plus 30.
slower stuff in the middle here. Character work that makes us care about and understand Battle Beast, his relationship with Prince Salaka, understanding this alien world. Battle Beast is becoming a more and more sympathetic character because he's explained he just constantly feels rage. He cannot control that. And if he's not fighting,
I was just trying to get the blank, but thank you, bro. No worries.
And he wants to die. He's miserable. The comic is played primarily for adventure and even some laughs. But there's an underlying sad context to this character, which I think is appropriate. Because not to spoil anything, but eventually, this is set in the past, basically. Eventually, Battle Beast dies. I won't say when or how, but he does die, and we know that if we've read Invincible books. So to have that finality there, I think it's fair to have an undercurrent of something sad within the character himself. Because we're not going to end on a totally happy note. So let's be honest with the tone. I feel like there's some really good thought there. But there is some funny stuff with the supporting characters. For instance, Prince Salaka meets this lady who was, head of like military while Salaka was missing for years. And she was going to take over the country, but she's just happy to have him back. And he doesn't really trust her. And they do this thing where they stare at each other's eyes. And I got vibes of Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm, where he just sort of is always trying to look and see if somebody is telling the truth or not. Okay. Who would win, Broly or Conquest? I think Broly is from Dragon Ball Z, so I don't know Dragon Ball Z. In fact, I was preparing for some comic trope stuff where I'm going to talk about a few different manga soon. Not soon, but, in a couple months. And I was like, can I get myself up to speed with Dragon Ball Z to include that? And I was like, nah, it's too big. It's too much to tackle in that short of a time. Interesting. Could Battle Beast regenerate like Juggernaut and Colossus? I think all three have their limits. All three have their limits. Yeah, it makes you feel like in this world, there's probably honestly like a medicine that could like control how he feels. And if that happened, at his core, Battle Beast has some really noble instincts. He made his own home planet safe, but in the process changed who he was, and he felt such a rage that he voluntarily left his home so that he wouldn't destroy what he loves. And in this, he has become friends, even though he doesn't treat him well. He says outright that he's friends with Prince Salaka, and he's trying to help.
Are you sketching Absolute Batman? Yeah, I'm trying to.
A good fit. Anyway, very fun, but I'll tell you that the real appeal here is beyond the story and the things.
I'm trying to find the right pose.
It's Ryan's art. Ryan has really, really outdone himself with. He's always had a good cartooning instinct. He's built some really great storytelling skills, and he's had an appealing art style that he hasn't lost. There's still a cartooniness to his character design. But what's cool is he's now comfortable rendering things a lot more than he used to when he started. And I like his rendering. He's got good ideas for when to use shadow to separate foregrounds and backgrounds. And he's got some really appealing textures that work well for things from fur to vegetation. Oops, I'm not showing it very well. From fur to vegetation. He's got some really great instincts. I think he's becoming a better artist, which is exciting because he's been drawing for quite a while now. I think it did explain a little bit, but kind of forgetting. I gotta go back and reread that. I gotta go back and reread some Invincible and see what I can find out. Yeah, some really nice, well-designed backgrounds, and some choices to use different perspectives here and there. I don't think Ryan, for instance, just faked these towers. Looking at them, I'm pretty sure he's got a 3-point grid to help guide everything and have it consistent. I'm pretty darn sure. Certainly on this page. And that's a somewhat limited background in some ways, but it frames the main subject and it adds a dynamism with like the intersecting 3-point perspective grids. So it isn't all just sort of like a straight on medium shot. We've got sometimes a close up or something, but only when it's appropriate. Look at how he decided to do a close up of Battle Beast's teeth and mouth. Like, he really emphasized the snarl, where he could have just drawn, a medium frame shot of Battle Beast's head, potentially. I think, there's somebody that's known his work for a while. Yeah, Uncle Waya was his online screen name back in the digital webbing days. He used a lot. He was on Pencil Jack and some of the other forums. Digital webbing, I know he did a bunch. Yep. Yeah, I like Donny Cates' ideas a lot. I didn't love the idea for Hulk, but it did look great. I think Ryan Ottley was slightly, not majorly, but slightly underserved by the stories he had at Marvel. He got to work on Spider-Man and Hulk, and I think he made them both look fantastic. I really think that they both looked great. He gave it his all. At the same time, I think that the Hulk story was a little too weird and way too different from what had just happened. And Spider-Man was really caught up in a lot of melodrama where Ryan can do that, but he's going to be more motivated to do it if it's serving a purpose, and then you're also alternating with really big, bold action pieces. I have an early page of his, Invincible 10, and it's signed Wyatt. Are you serious, dude? Dude, I haven't watched any videos where you go over your original art collection, but you've got quite a collection. I'm jealous. I don't have that many. The last thing I want to talk about in any big detail, and then I'll just sort of give recommend or not recommend, is I picked up this Action. This was originally a 70s, 1976, actually, 1976 anthology comic in England. Okay? And Action was meant to push the boundaries, be a little more hard-hitting. A little bit of horror, a little bit of war, a little bit of crime, a little bit of like sports, but hooliganism type sports. And they pushed good taste a little bit. Not trying to be outright offensive, but trying to push the boundaries with what they could do. And it actually very, very quickly, within a few issues, got such a pushback that they canceled it. They did move a couple of the characters into a somewhat similar anthology the publishers were doing called Battle. So they had Battle and Action Battle. Anyway, it's the 50th anniversary. They brought back 4 of their well-known characters for new/slight reimaginings of some of their characters with some really top-tier talent. And I overall really enjoyed the hell out of this. There's 4 stories in this. The first, and here's one really cool thing. If you don't know what I'm explaining and everything, before each story begins, they give you a couple paragraphs telling you when it originally came out, who created it, and what the idea behind it was. Especially since these are relatively short-lived, I think that's really valuable information.
For sure.
Now, this character is called Hookjaw, and Hookjaw is in many ways, yes, a ripoff of Jaws. Okay? Here's the key difference. To follow a shark, instead of, a one-time story where heroes can beat a shark, how do you have a recurring shark character?
Yeah, how do you do that?
Hookjaw does not have personality, really. Well, he sort of does, but he doesn't have a voice. I'll say that, okay? What they would do with these stories is Hookjaw would basically kill evil people. Not that that was his goal, but that's what the story always was. And by doing so, the writers weren't trying to say that it was all realistic so much as it was a case of nature getting revenge on people. So you'd have criminals, you'd have polluters, you just have generally nasty people out at the sea, and they get punished by getting killed by Hookjaw, okay? And this story is by an artist that I really love. I think he's severely underrated, but I love his work. Staz Johnson. He's worked for Marvel and DC. He's British, so he's done tons of stuff there too. Rogue Trooper, all sorts of great stuff. But the story here that's fun is some gangsters had a ship go down in the Gulf of Mexico. From the DEA shot it up, but there's drugs down there, and the drug kingpin wants to recover them, so he hires a marine biologist and forces him to come up with a way to get down there and get it without being killed by Hookjaw, who's apparently patrolling the waters. I won't spoil exactly what happens from there, but it's really cool. It's a good story, great artwork. I loved it. And if I'm ever lucky enough to recover my Jaws manga, what my goal is I will not just review the Jaws manga, I will compare it to how other comics have treated shark horror stories. I'll have the Jaws manga, I'll have classic Hookjaw stuff from the UK, and I'll have stuff from like Eerie by Richard Corbin. Okay? The next story after this is going to blow your minds if you haven't already read it. Hellman. Who is Hellman? Hellman is a World War II story. Sure, like Sergeant Rock, right? Sort of. But here's the big difference. Hellman is a tank commander for the Axis. Now, the reason you can still follow along and get a story out of this is he has a code of honor. But he's literally fighting for...
It's like enemy ace.
All of us would consider the bad guys. And to get around that, he would basically go up against, bad people that he worked with, or really evil Soviets, things like that. Pretty crazy. Now, this is written by Garth Ennis, who's good at writing war stuff. It's done in black and white by Mike Dory. And Hellman is just sort of a no-nonsense tank commander dealing with some screw-ups and having to fight a big army of Soviets in this issue. It is interesting to see things from this perspective. Ultimately, I can't love it, though. I don't want to be aligned from the point of view of the Axis, I just don't want to. It does feel in some ways like a Sergeant Rock type of a story. The art is good. It was interesting. I just felt like it's a weird idea. It's a very weird idea. But then again, so was Hogan's Heroes, and that treated World War II as a sitcom, and it sort of worked, so I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It was set in the 40s, but it was written in the 80s. The Russians were bad guys, and most of the time, that's, I guess, who they went up against. It's not bad, folks. It's just weird. The next one is something that I feel like we never get a story like this in America, but it focuses on a soccer, or as they call it, football player. It's called Look Out for Lefty, and Lefty is a pretty good athlete who had all sorts of weird, good and bad luck, so he would get into all sorts of crazy adventures. But what Rob Williams and Patrick Goddard have done for this story is actually jumped forward in time to assume, what if the comic kept running and we were about 50 years later, and he was maybe not quite 50 years older or something like that, but, you know, what if he was in his 50s or 60s now? And wasn't, you know, a footballer? Like, what kind of a life would he have? You know, how would he still be connected to the game? What kind of shenanigans would he be getting up to? So it's a fun story. I liked it way more than I expected to, because I don't know hardly anything about soccer. I really just don't. But I like this story.
Excuse me. Jeez.
He gets himself in way over his head. Now, the last story is probably the one that you'll either love it or hate it. It is another Garth Ennis book with art by John Ennis. Dredger. Dredger was the idea back then of taking sort of what was popular then. James Bond, Secret Agent Man, Man from U.N.C.L.E. That stuff was more 60s, but this was, you know, the 70s. That stuff was still popular. And they were like, what if you had a guy that worked in espionage and stuff, but he was a working class man, kind of a jerk at best. At best. Does look a little like Mel Gibson. I don't think that was intentional in 77. It's Garth Ennis. So imagine the Garth Ennis stories where, oh, I know, it's like The Boys. So how much did you like that satire where Billy Butcher was always basically, you know, easily able to beat someone up to get information out of them, and then maybe he'd go a step further by banging that guy's wife or something like that. You know, that kind of like mean-spirited energy. That's Dredger. And in this, Dredger's partner, who he didn't really like, gets blown up. And Dredger goes on a mission to hunt down the guy that killed him. And he gets information, for instance, from like this guy that's like blown himself up way in the past and is still connected to criminals. It's real mean-spirited, ugly stuff here. You know, where he's just sort of double-crossing people. It's kind of fun, but it depends on how much you like the Punisher Max series and The Boys. It's that kind of energy. A little bit Hitman, but even dialed up more from them. Okay? So I kind of liked it, but I also felt like Dredger was such a son of a bitch that I kind of wanted him to... It was like I used to get annoyed by Bugs Bunny sometimes when I was a kid. I was like, this guy needs his comeuppance. He's always winning. Yeah, I get that thought. I overall did like this issue quite a bit. I loved the Hookjaw and Look Out for Lefty stories, and I would say that I found both of Ennis's stories very interesting, and it made me like realize though that I've kind of moved on a bit from how much I loved Preacher back in the day, and that was a little mean-spirited sometimes, where the good guys sometimes are just like, it's so easy for them to humiliate their opponents. Lots of humiliation. Dredger does that. He humiliates his opponents. That part I didn't love. The rest of the story, I did. And I liked Hellman as a war story. I just felt weird about it by the end. But I guess that would be the goal, right? To make you sort of feel weird about it. I used to too sometimes. I would be like, just once, I sort of want to see Tom beat up Jerry or something. Oh yeah, this is totally Grindhouse. Totally like in that spirit. I had fun because I would say that I don't get lots of this in comic book form anymore. Who published this? Rebellion, I believe. Yep, Rebellion. They're the people that do 2000 AD. So it's a Rebellion book. I'm just glad to see them getting to have stuff in the comic book stores here. And I like Hookjaw a lot. I've always liked Hookjaw, but I like short shark stories. Just some quick thoughts on the rest of things. I canceled following Wonder Woman. I don't think it's that bad, but I'm getting burnt out on how every story is narrated or told from the perspective of somebody else. And like Wonder Woman is treated respectfully and amazing and stuff, but it's never told from her point of view. And this is her own title, and I got burned out on it. It's great art. I wish I could stay with it longer. Tom King has written some stories that I love, and he's written a few that are stinkers. I heard somebody say, if you get an 8-issue miniseries by Tom King, it's going to give you 8 fantastic issues. And if you read a long run like Wonder Woman or Batman by Tom King, it's going to give you 8 terrific issues. I was like, there's a little bit of truth to that. There's a little bit of truth. I don't think he's bad at endings. I really don't. I think that Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, Helen of Windhorn, top tier for me. Love both of those. Love, love, love. I thought Human Target was exceptional. So he's written a bunch of stuff that I like, but I'm burned out on this take on Wonder Woman. No, I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. I'm curious. I haven't, but I would. I do think that Garth Ennis, he's got some different writing styles. It's not always mean-spirited or anything. I like some of his writing quite a bit. I really enjoyed the first 2 issues of Lobo. And this 3rd issue, I only liked. First of all, I realized a big part of why I like it is I like Jorge Corona's art, but he only does a few pages to frame the story in this. I did get a kick out of this. Lobo is just sort of like hanging out in his hotel room or motel room in his undies. But if this looks familiar to you, that is his original costume. When Lobo debuted, he wore a purple and orange spandex superhero type suit. He does not generally wear that now. He's always dressed up like a biker ever since Simon Beasley got a hold of him. But I found that kind of funny, the idea of him hanging out in this is sort of like, it looks more like Long John's or something. That was pretty good. I hate that I say so much. Most of this is a flashback to young Lobo. Ain't I a stinker? I'm not against this art at all. It's good. But it also feels weird to me that we're only on issue 3. We've got a guest artist and a flashback standalone. It's not bad necessarily. It's just that for an ongoing title, I guess I was hoping it would build some momentum towards one initial story arc, and it was just 2 issues. I'm not against episodic and getting something like a 1 and done or a 2 and done story. I'm not against that. In fact, I often like that quite a bit. But I'd love for there to also be some subplots that like build up to something. I feel like issue 3 we should be introduced to some potential supporting characters. It's going to be really hard to do a book with just Lobo as an ongoing. He's going to need a supporting cast. So I don't know. I found out kind of weird that like issue 3 wasn't quite giving us this. So it's not that I didn't like it. It's just that it definitely didn't give me what I was anticipating. So I was a little let down, but some of that might be my own feelings.
Okay.
They're good together, no question. They really are. Supporting characters are definitely tough in a Lobo book. But here's the thing. Lobo was a supporting character in Legion, so you could have, other bounty hunters or a team that he basically becomes indebted to. The thing about Lobo is this. He doesn't respect anyone, okay? And that's fine, and it's funny, and it's part of his character. But he does also always follow a contract, right? So if he agrees to a contract...
Beacon 79 in the house.
He worked for Vril Docs as part of Legion.
Howdy, good sir. Hello to you, and welcome. Here you are on the Wall of Fame. Congratulations, and thank you.
A situation or scenario like that.
I got scammed. Says, are you sick? Am I sick? What kind of sick do you mean? Some people might call me sick.
You need somebody that you can sometimes root for a little bit more. I like that Lobo satirizes the rich and powerful. I like that a lot. This was a fun conclusion to Peach's jam book. The story ultimately isn't super important. Psylocke was sent on this dimensional quest to get a 7th Infinity Stone for a cosmic being. And all that is that she got to cross through different worlds, and Peach got to pull together some artists that she really respects. So I enjoy it quite a bit, but I enjoy it primarily for the art. There was never a story that connected on a big, deep level. But the art's great, and I think it is worth doing jam books like this, because sometimes that's just fun to see different people from different with different styles and visions work on a book like this. There's a really fun piece here that shows scenes from a bunch of what happened in the last few issues. And boy, did we have some really different artists, some European stuff, Stan Sakai, of course, Jim Mafood, Peach herself, Mike Del Mundo, some Natasha Bustos. Really interesting. Really, really interesting. I do recommend it, but keep in mind that I'm recommending it for thinking of it as an art jam book. Yes, I was about to speak on that, actually. I didn't know how in depth that I go, but they reused a little of Jim's panels from his issue 4. They also refer to it, but instead of Jim drawing that, it was Natasha Bustos trying to draw in a Jim sort of style. There it is. Not trying to give it all away, but it's a reimagining of the same splash image that Jim did. It's supposed to be the same sort of character and world, but it's done by a different artist. But to me, that is the fun of a jam art book. And I don't feel like Marvel or DC does a whole lot of that. So I did like that this was more experimental from a mainstream publisher. I like that.
Okay. I'm going to blow out shortly. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to have to dig up my abs bats reference once again. Anybody have any final questions? Any Wall of Famers want to take advantage of the 20% off Wall of Fame deal that Ainge 21 came up with? Any, let's see, anything going on? We've got Slim Pickens in the room today. It's me and one other person, and I don't know who that person is. We'll do a screen grab of our poll today, which was, how did you like Sketch Cover Madness? Overwhelmingly, people thought it was great as is. That is 2 contests, black and white and color, 8 rounds each, 2 rounds of semifinals, 1 round of finals, and then 1 round where color goes against black and white. And we got one vote for everything. So, how did you like it? I thought it was great, but it could be shorter, says one person. Great, but it could be longer, says one person. And what the hell are you talking about? Gets 2 votes. Well, that's good. That's a new fresh eyes in the stream. That's cool. If you haven't seen the sketch cover madness, tune in next March and we'll do this all again. Cool. All right. Any other questions? Awesome. I'm going to jump on this hardcore. I hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow, Thursday at noon Eastern. Talk to you.